Hi, Andrew Kolikoff here. I'm with Aurelius. We design and deliver remarkable customer experiences for our clients who understand the single greatest strength of every business is not in the new business it generates, but in the repeat business and referrals it gets. And it further understands that the single greatest thing that they can do to geometrically scale the referrals and repeat business is to design, develop, and implement a customer experience program. Today, I wanted to talk to you about the 8 phases of customer experience. There are 8 phases, and I'm going to briefly explain them to you. I think it's good for you to have a good general understanding of what that experiential journey is from the customer's perspective, not yours. So, this was all written with the customer's perspective in line. And if you are ever going to try and design your own experience, I think you should follow these 8 key phases. So the first phase is assess. And that's where the potential customer is determining if they actually wish to do business with you, and they're assessing their options. That's a phase where, if you're designing a more human centered experience, the questions that you ask, and by the way, this applies to every phase I'm going to explain to you, how to make a beautiful human experience from each of these phases is what really it's all about. The second is admit, and that's where the customer admits they have a problem or a need, and they believe or they believe you can solve it. And there may be an emotion of euphoria for them in believing you can solve their problem. So, this is something where, there, a client buys emotionally. People buy emotionally. This is one of your greatest chances to really connect with them. The third is affirm. A customer needs affirmation that they've made the right choice in selecting your product or service, because what happens is they can feel doubt, fear, or uncertainty. So, this is something that you need to affirm or allay their fears. And, there's something called buyer's remorse, where if it's a large purchase where somebody is spending 10,000 or more on a product or service, think about it. Right after they agree to buy it or they buy it, they may be worried. Like, think about when you bought that first house, how worried you were. Oh my God, I have a mortgage. These are all perspectives you need to understand of your client to deliver a better experience. The fourth is activate. And this is where the customer is waiting for an experience for the first post-sale interaction with your business. They're feeling anxious, excited to get started. This is where maybe you have the kickoff meeting. And that is also a moment where you can design a specific experience for. The fifth is acclimate. And this is where the customer is learning and experiencing and becoming acclimated in how you will do business with them on an ongoing basis. And they're feeling sometimes unsure and possibly frustrated by the lack of familiarity with your experience together because they've never done this before. One of the things I recommend here is creating a video for them to, the team to introduce themselves both personally and professionally and how they're going to work with them and tell them what they really care about. And now they know who they'll actually be working with. 6 is accomplish. This is the phase where the customer is experiencing the accomplishment of what was proposed to them. They're feeling a potential range of emotions from unsatisfied to angry or satisfied to ecstatic, depending on the execution of your customer experience. 7th is adopt. And this is where customers take ownership of the relationship. They adopt you as somebody important to them. They want to know that they now are an exclusive part of your tribe. And you matter to them. So they will give you a referral if you ask. They will give you a reference or if you ask. But here's the biggest difference. In the eighth and final phase, I call that advocate. And this is where the customer willingly, on their own, or you can call it a raving fan, where they don't need to be asked, they don't need to be told, they're shouting out in social media, they're telling their story of how you touched their lives, not just delivered on your promise of business to them. And they become a zealous promoter of your business and almost like a marketing representative or a sales representative for you. So, those are the 8 phases. Feel free to listen to this over and over again. And if you're going to design some personal experience, think about that within the first 100 days of those phases of that experience. I hope that's helpful for you. Thank you for listening. And if you'd like to find out more, I regularly talk about customer experience here on LinkedIn. Please connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm a big LinkedIner. I have almost 30,000 connections and a newsletter called The Purpose Driven Leader. And of course, you can visit my website at Aurelius, like Marcus Aurelius, AureliusTransformation.com. Thanks so much and hope to see you next time.